Welcome to Promobi. Today we're going to do a little bit of a demonstration or just to show you how you can use Revest, which is the tiling program, and how it sort of plays around so that you'd be able to do flooring, maybe do some other things, but also just to show you that you can change grout size as well as color, which can come in handy as well. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to do something very basic. So what I want to do is on this wall over here, I'm going to put a panel. And on this panel, we can just add some tiles just to show you. Now, what I can do is we can go up, we can choose a shape. So I'm going to right click on the wall so it accepts the wall, turns yellow. And I'm just going to draw a box on the wall like that. And what we can now do is by clicking on that box, we can now come down here and on the dimensions, I'm actually just going to make that 3 mm thick. Okay. We can obviously move this box around. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Maybe you want to put it towards the corner there a little bit. And I'm going to run it across over here. Maybe, eventually this could be like a dining room area or something. And you might just want to run it up to the sides here and put some tiles or something in this area. So what we're going to do is once we've got that selected, I'm going to move across to the top to where we've got reversed. And you'll see that we've got a few different things in reverse. These are like tile sizes. And I've got squares and I've got rectangles. And then what I've done is I've put some of my own materials in. So for wood flooring, I've got some bricks. So if I wanted to put bricks on the wall, I've added a few little things, some paints, different materials, depending on what I wanted to actually put in. And I can also create a new category as well with different sizes. Now, what is nice with this is the way that I bring in, the way, for instance, I've brought in these colors here is I've gone into Reversed at the top here, which is the reverse catalog. And there's my catalog. Now those you'll see will match these up here. So I've created some catalogs. And the way you can do that is you just go up here to where you've got the new piece, you add it in. And now what you can do is under categories, you can change what you want. So for instance, here you see I've got new categories. If I click down in here, I can put it in one of my existing categories, or you just create your new category and it'll build a new folder for you. Now, once you've done that and you want to now add your materials, what you can do is you can go to the plus button and you've got several options. You go to materials, which will bring in the materials that are already in Promobi. You can go to decor, and decor is basically what you've got in your decor folder if you've got anything. We don't. You can also go into browse a file that's maybe on your desktop, so or in your folder somewhere. You click on that, you can bring in a JPEG or a TIFF file or something. Screen capture allows you to pick a color on your screen, so you can do that quite easily as well. So maybe if you've got a browser open and you've maybe got a tile open, you can click on the screen capture, click on the tile, and it can bring it in, and you've got your 3D models. So what I normally do is I'll either use browse file, because I'll normally go on and create, download a file, color or tile or whatever I want to use. But for this demonstration, what we're going to do is we're not going to use any of this because I'm actually going to use one of the materials we've already got, and we're going to create something on this wall space here. So I'm going to exit that. That's just to show you how you would add your colors into your tiling functions. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to just put some tiles onto here, but I don't want to use just your standard material, which is down here, where I could go along and I could say floor and walls, and I could pick a material from floor and walls if I wanted to. I'm not going to do something like that. It's not going to come in. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to rather pick one of these up here because I'm already in my reversed catalog. So let's go to coverings. On here, let's put some tiles. So I'm going to use a 300 by 300. Now literally just drag it onto the space. And it's going to ask me, do I want an individual block? Do I want to maybe do a coating, a covering, which will cover the whole area? Or do I want to do a border? Let's do a border. Now what it does is inside, we're now in the tiling function. And what we can do is we can now add how we want our tiles. So for instance, over here, if I click on the paintbrush, it's going to bring me up that same function where I could import a material. So I'm going to go to materials and let's see what we've got here. Let's go down. Maybe we want a particular floor cover, or we could use, okay, let's use something here. And we're going to use a tile. So let's say, for instance, I wanted this green tile to sort of come in on the border. I can say OK. You'll see it will bring that green tile in. It'll show me the tile, tell me the size of the tile. If I've got a price per square meterage or box, I can put it in here. The material, it's already chosen over here as a satin standard. I can obviously click on this and I can then go in and I can change different material standards for this particular item if I wanted to. That's for when you're going to do your rendering. Okay, so I'm going to say OK. And down here now I can actually pop down and you'll see that it's got my sizes there. Everything is there that I want. I can now go and say 1 break or 2 breaks. You'll see it'll do different sections here. I can apply to all. And what I can do now is over here, I can add a piece to the library. It allows me to do different things. Now what I'm going to do over here is I actually want grout. I don't want one of those. I'm going to make my own. So I'm going to click on the plus button and I'm going to add a grout. It's quite a dark green. So let's be crazy and just put a sort of lime green in, or I can define a color as well. So I could go in and I could say, well, actually I want it to be that color there. I can add it to my color selection, say OK, and there we are. I've got my grout in. I can give it a reference, so I can call this green. And down here, I want to put a grout line in. I'm going to use a 2mm grout line. Okay, and then I'm going to say OK. It's now applied those tiles for me automatically onto my wall. Okay, so what I could also do is if I undo this, let's say, for instance, I wanted a smaller tile, 50 by 50. I can drag it on. I'm going to cover the whole thing. And now it's going to ask me what do I want to do. Now, with this, which is nice, what I'm going to show you now is I can change a few things. So up here, it's giving me some options. If I go on this drop-down menu, you can see I've got 1 tile. I've got 2 tiles that I could use. I could have 3 tiles. So I can mix and match. I can do alternative tiles. And you'll see as I go down. So maybe I want to do this number 9. Okay, so now it's going to give me 2 options at 50 by 50, which is fine. I can now click on the paintbrush and it's going to ask me again for material. So on this one, I'm going to go back into my materials. Let's use a floor tile. I don't like any of those. So what we can do is we can cut down and I can say, I don't want a mosaic. I can do something like this. So I want to use maybe the rock for that one. And this one we're going to change as well. So using that rock, maybe I want to use, let's just give it something a bit silly so we can see it like that. Okay. And now down here, what I can do is I can change my grout. I can either choose this gray that I've already got here, or I can obviously go in again and change my colors if I wanted to. But we're going to stick with this gray, and I'm going to leave a 2mm grout. And this is giving me my pattern. I can move this pattern. So if I zoom in, maybe I don't like that particular style of pattern. I can move this up and you'll see it'll go up. And it changes how it's going to look on the, I'm just going to centralize it. I'm going to say OK. And it's automatically created that pattern for me on the wall. So I hope this has helped. It's just to show you a little bit more on the tiling. You can do it on the floor, you can do it on any item that you want, but you can play around with the tiling function. So I'll be making a few more of these later on. This is just to get you going and get you to play around with it. And I hope it's helped. and we'll be bringing out some more videos very shortly.